including highlights from the biggest moments. Listen to Craig Stammen's postgame comments. Plus, we'll bring you today's play of the game. From the Padres Radio Network, here's Sam Levitt.
2-2 pitch. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Rafael and Duran both going back. This one is up. This one gonna go! Jackson Merrill over the monster. Go-ahead home run in the top of the 8th inning, and the Padres lead again. It's 7-6.
The Green Monster couldn't stop the Merrill madness. On this Sunday at Fenway Park, the Padres get a really nice 8-6 win over the Boston Red Sox in the rubber match of this 3-game series. Padres pick up their first series win of the season. Welcome into our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show here on the Padres Radio Network. A lot to do on our postgame coverage. We'll go back to Fenway, hear from Craig Stammen. We have all the radio highlights for you. We have the full look at the out-of-town scoreboard and much, much more. Hey, player, need a little me time? Jamul Spa was just named one of the top 100 spas in America. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. As always, our postgame coverage brought to you by Jamul Casino Resort. This was a really nice win and a really, really nice series win for the Padres after a game on Friday where it was more the same. Padres struggling offensively, losing 5-2 on Friday. They respond the last couple of days at Fenway in the cold with a couple of gutsy wins. Gutsy, tough wins. Yesterday, the run in the 9th inning to make it 3-2. They go on to win by that final score. And same thing here today. This was another gutsy win for the Padres early in the season. And now you look up, they're 4-5. They're heading to Pittsburgh. They've got a series win in hand and hopefully something to build on for this team moving forward. But this was gutsy and tough for a number of different reasons today. Number one, any day your starting pitcher goes less than 3 innings and gives up 4 runs and has you behind 4-0 when he leaves the game in the 3rd, that's going to be a tough hill to climb. And the Padres responded in a big way against Ranger Suarez and the Boston Red Sox today. They're facing a good starting pitcher in Suarez, who's on a big contract now with the Red Sox. They were down 4-0. They chip away, get 3 in the 4th inning to make it a 1-run deficit. And then came the big swings in this game. Manny Machado, 3-run home run in the 5th inning to give the Padres a 6-4 lead. It stays 6-4 until the 7th inning, until Wandy Peralta comes in. I would assume Adrian Morejon was unavailable in this game based on the way it played out in the later innings. We'll hear from Craig Stammen on that in just a little bit. Morejon did throw 29 pitches in this game, but Peralta gives up the couple of runs. 2 runs come in. You're tied at 6. But again, the Padres punch back. Merrill, leadoff home run, big home run, some slug, makes it 7-6, and then the Padres get an insurance run when they badly needed it in the top of the 9th inning, hand it to Mason Miller. I say they badly needed it with the way Miller's going right now. I don't know that you need more than one right now with the way he's pitching, but a much-needed insurance run. They win it 8-6, and I think what you love about the last couple of days, when the Padres got punched in these 2 games, they punched back, and they did it multiple times today. Again, down 4-0 early. They make it 6-4. They come back. They score 6 runs. They get punched in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Red Sox tie the game. Merrill punches back, and then they get the insurance, and the bullpen does the rest. So a really, really nice couple of wins, some gutsy wins. Padres improve to 4-5 on the season, pick up their first series win of the season, and a lot to smile about on the way to Pittsburgh. When we come back, all the radio highlights for you. This was a really good ball game on a rainy day at Fenway. We kind of wondered before the game and the pregame, would we start on time? Would we have a rain delay? We didn't have any of it. There was rain in Boston today, but luckily we got through the complete 9 innings unhindered today, and the Padres had a really good win in what was a pretty entertaining ball game at Fenway. We recap it when we come back on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios as the Padres pick up a very nice 8-6 win over the Red Sox in the rubber match of this 3-game series today at Fenway. As we continue to wrap this one up, we'll hear from Craig Stammen in just a little bit. Full look at the out-of-town scoreboard if you want to get a phone call in. A little bit later, 833-288-0973. The phone number is always, again, 833-288-0973. As I said before the break, on a rainy day at Fenway, this was a really entertaining back and forth ball game. A lot of things to smile about today if you're the Padres, and if you're a Padres fan, let's tell you about it.
Which moments determine the outcome of today's game? We'll paint you a picture with our game highlights on the Padres Radio Network.
Our starting pitching matchup today, former Red Sox Walker Buehler on the mound for the Padres, and left-hander Ranger Suarez making his Red Sox debut at Fenway Park, his second start of the season. Both guys pitched 2 scoreless innings to begin the day. After Suarez tossed the scoreless top of the third, Buehler then got in major trouble in the bottom half by his own doing. He walked the first 2 batters of the inning. With 2 runners on and 1 out, it was Jarren Duran.
A couple of guys in scoring position now for the left-hand hitting Duran. He swings at the first pitch, rips it fair up the right field line. That'll get the runs home. Narvaez has scored. Anthony's on his way. Duran into second base. Tatis's throw not in time. It's a 2-run double. And the Red Sox with the first 2 runs of the day.
Duran was on third base with 2 outs for Wilyer Abreu.
Here's the payoff pitch. And Abreu rips it in the air up the right field line. That's a fair ball. Gonna bounce up against the wall in the right field corner. Kicks away from Tatis. Duran has scored. Abreu's on his way to third. He will stand there with an RBI triple. And the Red Sox lead it 3-0.
Red Sox weren't done. Kyle Hart then came in to replace Buehler. He faced Masataka Yoshida. He hit an RBI double. Red Sox had a 4-run bottom of the third and a 4-0 lead. But then the Padres responded in the top of the 4th inning after Fernando Tatis Jr. hit a 1-out double. It was Jackson Merrill.
Jackson rips it on a line into right center field. That's down to the base hit. Fernando kind of waited to see. Now on his way home, he'll come in to score. It's an RBI single for Jackson Merrill. Padres are on the board. It's 4-1.
Padres were not done. They would load the bases against Suarez with 2 outs. It was Nick Castellanos who dug in.
First pitch on the way. Castellanos swings, hits it on a rope into left field. That's down to the base hit. Merrill has scored. Machado's on his way. A 2-run single for Castellanos and a 1-run game here in the 4th.
So a 3-run 4th inning, Padres trailing by 1. They got right back to work in the 5th inning. Luis Campusano hit a leadoff single. That was it for Ranger Suarez. Red Sox went to right-hander Greg Weissert with 2 outs. Jackson Merrill singled. So there were 2 on and 2 men away for Manny Machado.
And Manny swings, hits it in the air, deep to left field towards the Monster. Yoshida's back. This one gonna go! Manny Machado, a 3-run home run over the Green Monster in left field. And the Padres go ahead for the first time today. It's 6-4.
Manny's first home run of the season, a big one, a 3-run blast, and the Padres, as Jesse said, had a 6-4 lead. Kyle Hart pitched the scoreless bottom of the 5th inning, 2 1/3 solid innings from Hart out of the bullpen today. Padres still led 6-4 going to the bottom half of the 6th. Bradley Rodriguez came on. He gave up a couple of singles, but he got a big strikeout of Roman Anthony to strand 2 runners on and get out of the inning. Padres still led 6-4 going to the 7th inning. Rodriguez back to work in the bottom half. He gave up a leadoff single, infield single to Trevor Story, but then Rodriguez got the next 2 outs. With the left-handed hitting Wilyer Abreu coming up, Craig Stammen went to Wandy Peralta. Peralta gave up a double to Abreu off the Green Monster. So all of a sudden, the Red Sox trailing by 2 runs, had the tying runs in scoring position. It was Masataka Yoshida at the plate.
1-0 the pitch. Yoshida hits it hard and fair up the right field line. That'll kick around. Contreras has scored. Abreu's on his way. Yoshida into second. It's a 2-run double to tie it. 6-6 here in the 7th.
Big 2-run double for Yoshida. We had a 6-6 game after 7 innings. Red Sox righty Tyler Huberstein making his major league debut. He had been good, 2 scoreless innings in his debut, but Alex Cora, Red Sox manager, kept him on for his 3rd inning of work to begin the 8th inning. A tie game at 6. It was Jackson Merrill who led off.
2-2 pitch. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Rafael and Duran both going back. This one is up. This one gonna go! Jackson Merrill over the monster. Go-ahead home run in the top of the 8th inning, and the Padres lead again. It's 7-6.
Second home run of the season for Jackson Merrill at Fenway Park, the place he enjoyed going to as a kid. Grew up a Red Sox fan. Well, he gave the Padres a 7-6 lead in the 8th inning with that solo home run. Jeremiah Estrada pitched a 1-2-3 bottom of the 8th inning. Padres then looking for insurance in the top of the 9th, leading 7-6. It was Gavin Sheets who kick-started the inning with a leadoff double, pinch hitting in the number 9 spot. He went to third base on a ground out. Really nice job by Gavin Sheets advancing to third base because it was just a tapper back to the mound off the bat of Ramon Laureano. So Sheets 90 feet away from scoring. Fernando Tatis Jr. then hit a fly ball plenty deep enough to right. That scored Sheets, a sac fly, an RBI for Fernando. Manufacturing an insurance run, Padres led 8-6. In the bottom half of the 9th inning, it was time for Mason Miller. He struck out Trevor Story. He struck out Jarren Duran. The game was left up to the Red Sox, Wilson Contreras.
Now the 2-2 to Contreras, swung on and missed, strike 3, and for the second consecutive day, Mason Miller strikes out this side to end the game. His 4th save of the year, and for the first time this season, the Padres have won a series as the bats came alive in a big way at Fenway, 8-6 over the Red Sox here this afternoon.
A really nice dub for the Padres on this Sunday at Fenway. Final totals here today for the Padres: 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors. For the Red Sox, 6 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Jeremiah Estrada picks up the win. He improves to 1-1. It was Tyler Huberstein in his major league debut taking the loss, and Mason Miller now 4 for 4 in save opportunities this season. When we come back, we'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen. Much more to do on this Sunday. The Padres win it in Boston 8-6. Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues after this.
Standing on the mother tree.
Our Jamul Casino Resort Padres post-game show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Final score today in Boston, Padres 8 and the Red Sox 6 as the Padres win the rubber game of this 3-game series, and they pick up their first series win of 2026. Today is a Military Sunday, and it's brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We make it easy. We'll hear from Padres manager Craig Stammen in a moment, so stay tuned for that. But I think the thing that you really liked about this game, well, a couple of things, and I said one of them certainly in the opening segment. Every time the Padres got punched in this game, they punched back. It was another tough win. Last 2 games, the 2 wins in this series, really gutsy, really tough. Showed some fortitude from the Padres standpoint. Really, really good to see. Here's the other thing that was really good about today. This was by far and away the best offensive game they've played, the most complete 1 through 9 offensive game they've played. And oh, by the way, the guy who's been their best player offensively to this point, Ramon Laureano, took an over. He went 0 for 5. And even with that, you go down the lineup today. Fernando Tatis Jr. had what I would call a big double in the 4th inning. Padres trailing 4-0 in that top of the 4th inning. Well, Tatis's 1-out double got that rally started en route to a 3-run 4th inning that sparked this offense today. Jackson Merrill, his biggest game of the year, 3 hits, including the go-ahead home run in the 8th inning, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored for Merrill. Manny Machado, a big 3-run home run in the 5th inning to make it 6-4. Xander Bogaerts had 3 hits in this game, including a double. Nick Castellanos had a big 2-run double in that, or I should say 2-run single in that 4th inning to make it 4-3. Productive day for Castellanos in his first ever start at first base. And I'll tell you what, he did a good job at first base today, too, on a tough day to do it. In the cold, wet day in Boston, he did a nice job today. Luis Campusano had the hit in the 5th inning to start the rally. So you go, and I'll even say Gavin Sheets, who had that leadoff double in a pinch hit spot in the 9th inning. He comes around to score after the leadoff double on the Tatis sac fly. Big insurance run. So up and down the lineup today, they got contributions, they had big swings, they had slug. Really nice offensive day. By far and away, the best offensive day, start to finish, top to bottom, that the Padres have had in the early part of this season. Before we hear from Craig Stammen, let's quickly pause for station identification on the Padres Radio Network.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
Hi, this is Michael King. The Padres play here on San Diego's #1 station, 97.3 The Fan.
An Odyssey Sports Station.
Sam Levitt with you inside our San Diego studios. Again, final score today, Padres 8 and the Red Sox 6. Let's go back to Fenway.
Let's pull up a seat in a manager's office and hear from Padres skipper Craig Stammen. Served up by Sinley Food. If you've had better chicken, you must be a rooster.
How much is this the manifestation of what you've been talking about, just the quality of bats then leading to the baton passing and the hitting?
Yeah, I don't think they're listening to what I'm saying to you. I think they're just believing it themselves and who they are and who they've been in the past. And then, I think they understand the same way that I'm telling you guys that that's how they're going to win games. And, it's came to fruition here the last couple of days.
That is the message you've been giving them, though.
Yeah, it's the message we've been giving each other, and that, we all are seeing it together. We're in this together. It's not my message to them. It's the Padres' message to each other. And, the more that we can talk through things, talk through the bad, talk through the good, use adversity as our friend and use adversity to create perseverance and determination and stick with it and get back to it the next game. That's hopefully what we've become as a team.
Nice to see your 2 guys, Jackson and Manny.
Yeah, exactly. Just to see, Jackson, I think, was 3 for 5, Manny 2 for 4, Bogaerts 3 for 3. We get those 3 guys moving the baseball the way they did today. We're going to score a few runs.
For Castellanos, he hasn't played a whole lot in the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
Mentioned a little today. What does that do for you guys?
Yeah, exactly. I think, it's tough when you go from being an everyday player to then being on a team where you're somewhat of a role player. And we're trying to get him as many at-bats as we can and keep him, somewhat feeling good in the box. And, same with Ty France. And both those guys came up with 2 big hits in the last 2 days. So, it's just those guys buying into the team atmosphere and wanting to contribute and then competing in the box, even though they may not feel their best. And so it's just great to see those two guys kind of, putting team first and then having some really good at bats. Good for them.
What did you think of Walker today, and did you notice any difference between the first 2 innings and the third inning?
Yeah, it's, same as his kind of last start is he's looking really good early, and you're like, all right, this is going to go well. And then all of a sudden, it just kind of loses command. Maybe loses his delivery a little bit. But, something we can go back to the drawing board because it's in there. We see it the first couple innings. And then, I don't think it's ineffectiveness. It's just like it's losing the strike zone a little bit and then having to come over the plate and then making some mistakes. So, we'll get back to the drawing board with him and Ruben and, talk about how he's feeling in the middle of the games and see if we can find ways to, get him through those middle innings.
Is Morejon unavailable today?
Yeah, Morejon was emergency. I wouldn't say he was down, but, if it got to like the 13th inning, he would have been available, but we try to stay away from him as much as possible.
How did that affect, how you stuck with Bradley? How you did things today?
Yeah, exactly. I think, we're going to have to trust Bradley, David Morgan. We do trust them. And, today was finally a day where we had to put them in, where we had a lead and they're facing the top of the order and those kinds of things. And then, we trust Wandy. Wandy's going to figure it out here. He's just had a couple tough ones against the lefties here in Boston, but, he's going to be good going forward. We're going to be really good.
How much was this kind of thing? It's happened a few times now where you knew, like Jason Adam, we're going to put him down because we need him later, but we could end up having a really, come together here.
Yeah. I think, one, it's opportunities for other people to step up and, you're going to make your team better by finding out, who those guys are that you can trust late in the games. And, it's a different way to use the bullpen without Jason Adam. When we get him back, will it be the same as what it's been, last year, or will it be a little bit different? He's going to not be probably 1,000% healthy when he gets back. He's still coming off that knee injury and, working his way back. But, we feel good when we do get him back. We'll have a pretty strong bullpen like we already do.
How big are the answer back innings? You've done that all yesterday and today.
Yeah, huge. We talk about it on the pitching side is having a shutdown inning after we score. And for us to put runs back up after they scored 4 on us and, you get your dauber down a little bit, but the boys did it and they had really good at bats that next inning and scored 3 runs. So, and then put 3 runs the next time. And then, we can't get out of that 7th inning and Jackson hits a oppo home run, gets the guys fired up and we're able to tack on 1 at the end. So it's just speaks to the resolve and not giving up and staying in the fight and figuring it out.
This might go without saying, but how much of a luxury is Mason Miller's just ability to get strikeouts? Like, as opposed to other closers who, like, maybe the ball's in play a little bit, the way he gets strikeouts, he kind of limits the variance.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I can only speak to myself, and knowing that I had to put the ball in play and relied on the defense, it would be really nice to know that they're just going to swing and miss a lot, and even as a manager, putting him in the 9th inning, we feel really good. And is he going to be perfect the entire season? Probably not, but he's pretty good right now.
That play with the pickoff attempt at first base, do you call that good luck that it went off Manny's foot, or was that a heads-up play for him to kind of get in the way of it?
I don't, I think the first baseman was late getting to the bag, and our first base coach is basically telling Manny whether to get his lead or to get back. So he's only watching the first baseman. And so it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to beat the throw. He only has to beat the first baseman. So I feel like we kind of played that, and it was just a bad throw that hit his ankle. And then we got to advance base.
That was Padres manager Craig Stammen following this 8-6 win for the Padres against the Red Sox to win this 3-game series. Take 2 out of 3 this weekend at Fenway Park. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios. You heard a lot of thoughts there from Craig Stammen. We did get confirmation there that essentially Adrian Morejon was unavailable in this game. It was going to be an emergency situation for Morejon. So you kind of figured that when Wandy came in that spot, because to be honest with you, that's a Morejon spot. If Morejon's available in that kind of game situation late, you're leading by a couple of runs. That is a classic Morejon spot. So the minute Wandy came in, my immediate thought was Morejon must not be available. And he did throw 29 pitches yesterday, and you get it. They're trying to, limit that kind of workload, that kind of back-to-back after what was a laborious outing for Morejon yesterday. But you know what? Padres found a way after Peralta Peralta gave up the couple of hits, and the Red Sox tied the game, and all ended well for the Padres today at Fenway. Not to put a damper on what was a really good gutsy win. It was a rough outing for Walker Buehler, and now he's had two similar outings in the sense that both of his starts as a Padres so far, he's been very good in the first couple of innings, very sharp in the first couple of innings, and then things have kind of gotten away from there. And the third inning in particular today, that was very much his doing. I mean, he walks the number 9 batter, Narvaez, to begin the inning, then walks Anthony. After that, 2 walks to begin the inning. And guess what? Both walks came into score, and that ignited a 4-run bottom half of the third. So, yes, moving forward, probably a bit of an intensifying magnifying glass. I don't know if that makes sense. I think you get what I mean. An intensifying view, intensifying look, focus, if you will, on Walker Buehler, who's had 2 pretty shaky outings to begin his Padres tenure. And, look, when you talk about guys like Matt Waldron being ready to come back and Griffin Canning not being all that far away, we alluded to it pregame today. Padres are going to have to make some tough decisions with this roster when you talk about guys like Canning and potentially Waldron, who is out of options, and Sun Moon Song and Jason Adam and Yuki Matsui. List goes on. They've got a lot of guys that here in the next few weeks are going to be ready to return, and they're going to have to make some tough decisions about this roster. So it is going to be interesting to see how Buehler continues to perform moving forward. And even with a tough outing for him today, 4 runs given up in 2 2/3 of an inning, Padres found a way to win it. They got big swings when they needed them, and they win it 8-6 against the Red Sox on this Sunday. When we come back, we'll tell you about our relief pitcher of the game. We'll also have a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard coming up a little bit later as well. Again, the phone number to call if you want to get involved, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Phone number to call. Padres 8, Red Sox 6, the final today at Fenway. Our post-game coverage continues after this. Padres win it on this Sunday afternoon. Final score, Padres 8 and the Red Sox 6. Sam Levitt back with you inside our San Diego studios on our Jamul Casino Resort. Padres postgame show. Hey, player, the rooftop pool is open. Day passes are available, and the spa is calling your name. Jamul Casino Resort, the player's place. We will get to some of your postgame phone calls here in a second. 833-288-0973. Again, the phone number 833-288-0973. First, let's tell you about today's Heart of the Order.
Let's take the pulse of the Padres and check in on the Heart of the Order, presented by Palomar Health, the official healthcare provider of 97.3 The Fan. Palomar Health, leading with heart for every patient. Palomar Health is reimagining healthcare.
2-2 pitch. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Rafael and Durant both going back. This one is up. This one gonna go. Jackson Merrill over the monster. Go-ahead home run in the top of the 8th inning, and the Padres lead again. It's 7-6.
Part of the order today, Merrill, Machado, and Duhar. Really nice day for the 3-4 hitters. Jackson Merrill, 3 hits, including that go-ahead home run in the 8th inning over the Green Monster. Manny Machado, 2 hits, including a 3-run home run in the 5th inning to give the Padres a 6-4 lead. Miguel Andujar did walk in this game, otherwise 0 for 3. So you look at the 3, 4, 5 spots, the heart of the order. Merrill, 3 hits in the home run. Machado, 2 hits in the home run. And Duhar hitless. He was on base today once, but nice job out of the 3 and 4 spots by Merrill and Machado. Any day you have those 2 hitting home runs, Padres are going to have a pretty darn good chance to win a ball game, and that's what the Padres had today. And again, I've said this a handful of times already on the postgame today. What you really like about those home runs, they represented some punches. You know, Padres down 4-0, then down 4-3. Manny, big home run, a punch, makes it 6-4. Red Sox tie it immediately. Merrill with the answer makes it 7-6. And nice job. Some big swings by Merrill and Manny today as part of this 8-6 win. Let's tell you about today's relief pitcher of the game.
Which pitcher entered the game and slammed the door shut? This is today's relief pitcher of the game, brought to you by San Diego criminal defense attorney David P. Shapiro. We help good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. Learn more at davidpshapirolaw.com.
Our relief pitcher of the game. If you want to go by that intro, which is slam the door shut, the easy choice is going to be Mason Miller. But I'm going to tell you what. We can pick Mason most days right now with the way he's going and how dominant he's been. He continues to throw up 0 after 0 after 0. But I'll tell you, in this game, and Estrada was great in the 8th inning. Bradley, for the most part, was good in this game. Peralta didn't help him out by allowing an inherited runner to score. But I'll tell you what, I think it's pretty clear today who the relief pitcher of the game is. It's Kyle Hart. It's Kyle Hart. And I'll tell you why. Hart comes in the 3rd, replacing Buehler, runner on 3rd base, 2 outs. Now, first batter he faces, the left-handed hitting Yoshida, hits a double. Makes it a 4-0 game. Yeah, first batter he faced today gives up an RBI double to Yoshida. But think about what Kyle Hart does after that. Not only does he get the next guy out in the 3rd inning to keep it a 4-0 game, which at the time may not seem like a big deal, but really was in the bigger picture of this game. Padres then get 3 runs in the top of the 4th inning. Hart comes back out, pitches a 1-2-3 bottom of the 4th inning. Padres then take the lead in the top of the 5th inning. Hart comes out and works around a 2-out walk in a scoreless 5th inning. He ultimately goes 2 1/3 scoreless innings. His line today, yes, he did allow an inherited runner to score. But you want to talk about a really nice job when the Padres cut it to within a run of going back out, putting together a shutdown inning, and then when the Padres take the lead, that's a spot where you got to go out there and throw up a 0 and keep momentum on your side. And Hart went out there and did that today. You know, Kyle Hart has been really good. I know the end of that outing a handful of days ago at home went really sideways towards the end, and it really has messed up his ERA, which even after 2 1/3 scoreless today is still 5.40. I understand that. But if you've watched Kyle Hart the early part of this season, This guy's been great. He's been great. And for him to go out there today after the Padres get it to within a run, then go out there, throw up a scoreless inning, they take a lead, he goes out there, has another shutdown inning. That was a huge part of this Padres win. That was a huge part of the Padres being able to climb out of an early hole. If you go make it a one-run deficit and Hart goes out there the following inning and gives up another run or two, the momentum is not what it was in this game. Same thing had he gone out there and gave up 2-3 runs once they took a 6-4 lead. So great job today by Kyle Hart, and to me, pretty clearly our relief pitcher of the game. All right, let's squeeze in a phone call or two on the post-game coverage here. Let's go to Doug calling in from San Marcos. Doug, you're on the Padres Radio Network. Go ahead.
Hey, Sammy. Thanks for taking my call, brother.
Hey.
Hey, you know what, man? You hit the nail on the head. Great job by Hart.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in, for Buehler, and I'm a little skeptical on Buehler right now, but it's all good, man. I'll let the Padres figure that one out. Then one more while I'm talking pitchers is, and I know this has nothing to do with the game, but man, I don't think we're going to see Musgrove anymore. And if we are, it's going to be very little. And then I think he's going to be part of the pitching staff. And that's just my thought, man.
Mm-hmm.
But, hey, one other thing. It's great to see the Padres starting to come out of this little bit of a slump. And for that beginning lineup to start hitting the ball and make things happen. And even Tatis, man, he's hitting the ball hard. You got to admit.
Yeah, Doug, appreciate the phone call. Thank you. Appreciate the phone call, Doug. Yeah, look, Toddy had a nice game today, had that double that started the rally in the fourth inning, had the sac fly later, big insurance run in the ninth to make it 8-6. As far as the pitching points you made, look, Buehler, it's been shaky first couple of outings. And yes, I think for Walker's future with the Padres, he's probably going to have to be a little bit better because, as I said, and I don't think I'm off on this, the Padres are going to have to make decisions about some of these guys. Once Canning's ready, potentially if you want Matt Waldron to be on this team when he's ready, you're going to have to make a decision about that. Again, I'm not saying that Walker Buehler's time with the Padres will be short. I don't know that for sure. However, it's been a shaky couple of starts. And, if he doesn't want to be kind of the odd man out, I would think, and again, how German Marquez pitches may play a role in this as well. But yes, it would be nice to see Walker Buehler be a little bit better his next time out. He's got off to a good start in both these outings, but the second time through the order, it's kind of gone sideways. And look, today, and I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you, kind of getting to know Walker a little bit during spring training, you can't walk two guys in that third inning. I mean, you cannot do that. Walk the 9 batter and then another to begin an inning, and that snowballed into a 4-run bottom half of the third. By the way, just as far as Joe Musgrove, look, Joe's playing catch again. We're going to see when he gets on a mound and when he starts, throwing in live at bats again and sim games, and sounds like it's still going to be a little bit. But I do anticipate, Doug, that Joe's going to have a role on this team here in 2026. So when he's going to be back exactly, still no timetable on that. But is it going to be 150 innings this year? Probably not. It's probably not going to be the innings number that you would have targeted for him coming out of spring training, or I should say at the start of spring training. But I'm pretty confident in saying Joe's going to have a pretty significant role in this rotation, but it's just going to come at a start date that I think is a little bit later than what we anticipated. All right, let's go to Charles in Ramona. Hi, Charles. Welcome in. Go ahead.
Hey, Sammy. Thank you. Happy Easter to you. So I just had 4 points and also that I wanted to make. One, yesterday the offense came through in the clutch moments, and today they built off that, just like we spoke about yesterday. 2, Campy is probably the most improved player on the team. His defense has come up huge. He's actually producing some offense. 3, a little criticism on putting Wandy in. I know we got to use him at some points, but this is 3 times he's come in and either given up a lead, put the team in a bad situation, and it's 3 times and you're out. So maybe we got to move, just find some other lefties to move to there. And what was my 4th point? I'm not sure. I just think overall this was definitely our most complete baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we can continue to build off of this, we're going to be just fine moving forward. And I have no doubt that Musgrove will return this year as well. It's just later than we wanted, so we'll be excited for that.
All right, Charles, appreciate the phone call. I do want to touch on your Campy point. Luis had a nice series. He did. He had some good challenges behind the plate. To your point, he had that weird strikeout today where he got called strike 3 on a pitch clock violation. What was weird about that, to be honest with you, now the rule itself is that he has to be ready at 8 seconds, engaged with the pitcher, ready for a pitch to be thrown. I will tell you, though, looking at that, and I actually went back and looked at it again, in Campy's defense, Ranger Suarez wasn't even remotely ready to throw a pitch there. So I don't even know if Ranger was on the mound yet, which might be part of the reason that Campusano didn't appear ready, but I guess that doesn't matter. To me, that's not the spirit of the rule, but I guess it's the letter of the rule, if you will. So that was a weird strikeout for Campy today. However, I will say this with Luis Campusano, had a double off the Green Monster in this series and had a single to start that 3-run rally before the Machado home run in the 5th inning, scored a run in this game. So did a nice job behind the plate. Some good challenges and some offensive moments. And it was, I think, a productive series for Luis Campusano. So good for him. Hopefully a sign of things to come. When we come back, full look at the out-of-town scoreboard. We'll have our play of the game, wrap things up, get you ready for the series opener in Pittsburgh. Again, the final score today, Padres 8 and the Red Sox 6 on the Padres Radio Network. Jamul Casino Resort Padres postgame show continues here on the Padres Radio Network. Final score, Padres 8 and the Red Sox 6. Padres now begin the second half of this 6-game trip with the series opener in Pittsburgh tomorrow. Good pitching matchups in Pittsburgh. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit. First, let's take a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard.
Let's take a trip around the bigs to highlight the scores that matter most with our out-of-town scoreboard. Presented by Jensen Premium Beef Patties. Always a hit for grilling.
We have a number of finals already today. Rockies beat the Phillies in Colorado 4-1. White Sox beat the Blue Jays in Chicago 3-0. The Rays over the Twins 4-1 in Minnesota in 10 today. Brewers beat the Royals in Kansas City 8-5. Pirates beat the Orioles 8-2 in Pittsburgh. Former Padre Ryan O'Hearn had a home run and 4 RBIs for the Pirates today. By the way, Pittsburgh winning now 5 in a row, so they'll be a very hot team facing the Padres starting tomorrow. Doubleheader today between the Cubs and the Guardians in Cleveland. Cubs won game 1 of that twin billing 1-0 in Cleveland. Game 2 going on right now. Cubs ahead 1-0 in the 4th inning. Games going on right now. The Nationals ahead of the Dodgers 6-1 in DC in the 6th inning. Marlins lead the Yankees 1-0 in New York in the 1st. The Reds lead the Rangers 2-1 in Arlington in the 9th. Astros and A's are scoreless in the 5th inning in Sacramento. Mets and Giants tied at 1 in the 6th inning in San Francisco. Mariners and Angels tied at 2 in Anaheim in the 4th inning. Braves and D-backs are tied at 3 in the 5th inning in Arizona. One game yet to begin today. Cardinals and the Tigers in Detroit coming up at 4:20. And that is a full look at the out-of-town scoreboard on this Sunday. Padres win it 8-6 in Boston on this Sunday. Let's hear our play of the game.
One bounce, one hit, one pitch can be the difference between victory and defeat. What was the most important play in today's game? This is today's play of the game. Presented by Phil Hell Plumbing, Heating and Air, Restoration and Flood. We know how.
2-2 pitch. Merrill swings, sends it in the air to left center field. Rafael and Duran both going back. This one is up. This one gonna go. Jackson Merrill over the monster. Go-ahead home run in the top of the 8th inning, and the Padres lead again. It's 7-6.
Jackson Merrill's go-ahead home run in the 8th inning, making it a 7-6 game, his second home run of the season. That is today's play of the game. Manny Machado also hit a home run in this game, his first of the year, 3-run shot in the 5th inning. Taking a look ahead to the second half of this first 6-game road trip of the season, Padres will take on the Pirates the next 3 days in Pittsburgh. Tomorrow, first pitch is 3:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 2:40. Pitching matchup tomorrow, right-hander German Marquez on the mound for the Padres, right-hander Bubba Chandler on the mound for the Pirates. Then Tuesday, it's Nick Pivetta against Paul Skeens, and on Wednesday, Michael King against Mitch Keller. So Padres will face some good starting pitching for the Pirates. And Chandler, who's talented, good young right-hander. Skeens, you know his name. And then Mitch Keller on Wednesday. So tough series for the Padres coming up, but they will head to Pittsburgh with a series win in hand. Again, first pitch tomorrow, 3:40 p.m. here on the West Coast. And our pregame coverage will begin at 2:40. Final totals at Fenway Park today in the rubber match of this 3-game series. For the Padres, 8 runs, 12 hits, no errors. They left on 4. For the Red Sox, 6 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. They left on 7. Winning pitcher today, Jeremiah Estrada, who improves to 1-1. Losing pitcher, Tyler Uberstein, who drops to 0-1 in his major league debut. And Mason Miller, his 4th save of the season. Time of game, 2 hours and 54 minutes. And the crowd at Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, 29,240. Once again, first pitch tomorrow, 3:40 p.m. Our pregame coverage begins at 2:40. Until then, for our great studio coordinator, Kyle Ovenshire, I'm Sam Levitt saying so long from inside our San Diego studios. Again, the final score today, the San Diego Padres 8 and the Boston Red Sox 6. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Padres Radio Network. Have a fantastic rest of your Sunday.